What's up, AfterBuzzers? We're here talking another 2 episodes of Good Girls Revolt, and this week things got super sexy, so stay tuned because you do not want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah.
Cool. Was this in the...
It was in the 6th episode.
Okay.
I love it.
What's up, everyone? We are back, and we are talking episode 5 and episode 6 of Good Girls Revolt, and I am your host, Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega, and today it's just 2 of us. Marisa, where can they find you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
So first off, these 2 by far were my favorite episodes.
I know. This season just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, our guest last week kind of talked about that. And I think they used the word sexy, didn't they, to describe upcoming episodes? And they were
did.
so right.
And these episodes were anything but, I mean, so good.
They were so good. So let's just dive right in, because I feel like we have kind of a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff went down. So starts off the episode, which is now looking at it, a foreshadowing. Jane clearly has sex on the brain.
Oh,
she's
for sure.
Totally busted, like, listening to people having sex.
And, like, even trying to go out and get her own new wardrobe just so she can feel better and get into that mood.
It's funny. I like seeing, like, these little, like, quirks of Jane because, like we've said, she tries to put on that whole, like, very put together, proper, like, persona. But I like seeing little things like this of, I don't know. It's funny.
No, it's true because it seems like she wants one thing right now. Like everything else really doesn't matter for her, which is kind of surprising. But it seems like she wants more than what she maybe really wants. Right?
Yeah.
Because even when she's trying on the dress, not to jump ahead, but even when she's trying on the dress, she's like, "Oh, my fiance wants me to do this," and be like, they're not even engaged yet.
Yeah.
So she's already like thinking 10 steps ahead of where she really is.
Yeah, that's a big thing. We'll, like, dive into that a lot because I have, like, some thoughts on... Because this episode, it totally made it seem like she was just wanting sex, but I feel like there's, like, ulterior motives to where her mind, like, originated with that, maybe. But we'll talk about that. Also, this was a big, at the beginning, it doesn't seem like that big of a thing, but I knew those pills that Patty found. Clearly, Patty's trying to get over Doug. You see a guy leaving her apartment and find some pills.
Do you think this will be an ongoing issue? Or even if it's not an issue now, do you think it's going to be something that we'll continue to see?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like with, what ends up happening with the pills, I don't know if it'll be, like, a big thing with her storyline or anything. Do you think?
I don't know. It's very interesting because we know she smokes a lot and she can drink. We'll get to that, but, like, she's a big partier and now she's in pills. Like, I don't know if it can get ahead of her.
Yeah.
I feel
I'm
like she can be
curious to
very
see.
destructive with
Oh,
it.
she totally could. Yeah. I like how they actually opened this episode. I'm looking at my notes here, and it's like every little thing that they showed of the main 3 girls pretty much foreshadowed what this episode was going to be about for them, because we start with Jane listening to people, Patty, the pills, because that ends up being a huge thing. And then it also shows Cindy trying to have a conversation with her husband, and he's just a douche.
Yeah, he's such an a-hole. Like, I don't even want to look at him because he's so incredibly frustrating as a character, as a man in general. We don't like him, and I don't want Cindy with him.
I know, and it's sad because even though she's clearly stated how she's unhappy, she is trying. She tries to have conversations with him and tries to engage with him, and he just kind of blows her off.
Yeah, he has no appreciation for her, which is really frustrating.
I know.
And it's more of a one-way street in this relationship. She's trying to make it work. He's not. And I don't think this relationship's going to last long.
Me either. Well, we'll get into that a little more later.
But we also did hear the line, like, she didn't pick her husband, quote unquote. So it makes me think, like, why did she even get into this marriage, this relationship, if she didn't even really had a say in it?
I think it's just like a time thing, because kind of with, like, Jane and Chad, it's like, I don't think ideally that's who she'd want to be with, but it's it's like an expected thing.
So it's socially acceptable.
Yes, to just kind of
Just
settle and get married. So I think that's part of it. We also see Finn in the beginning. He's trying to replace Wick. Kind of trying to, like, prey on other magazines, which I kind of like.
I know,
I'm like,
well, I mean, he's trying to do his research. He's trying to get ahead. I mean, I understand from his position of what other people like trying to get into the minds of what everybody else is doing and maybe get ahead of them.
yeah.
In that way.
I really like Finn a lot. I don't know. I like how he knows what he wants and he's gonna do it. He's gonna make the changes to the magazine, how he sees fit, and he's not gonna let anyone kind of.
I like the fact that, like, as a good person in position to lead a magazine like this, he's up with the times and he's willing to change. Whereas there can be some leaders in those positions that are so adamant against change. So, like, I like the fact that he's willing to grow and change in different ways so the magazine can grow.
Yeah. And we kind of predicted that Finn was definitely going to take Patty's side on this whole Black Panther story. And we see that very early on. And Doug isn't too happy about it. And I kind of like...
saw it coming.
Yeah. And I kind of like how Finn straight up goes to Doug, you could be one of my best writers, but you just have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
Because that's what Doug needed to hear. Because Patty's been trying to do that, and I feel like he's been very resistant to change.
Well, yeah, and like I'm glad that Finn was the one who was able to do it. I mean, unfortunately, Patty said it pretty much last week, but I don't want to bring up gender issues here. But maybe because Patty was a woman, and back then women weren't like really treated with respect at that time. But to hear from another man to tell him to change, then he was willing to do it, which is kind of frustrating as well.
It is frustrating.
But it's like, now you listen to it just because a guy told you, not a girl. So Doug has a lot of growing up to do, professionally as well, and just maybe as a person. But like, I'm glad that someone told him. And then he seems very narrow-minded.
He does. But
He needs to
hopefully,
expand.
you know, it seems like throughout these couple episodes, though, it seems like he's trying a little harder and kind of stepping out of that comfort
Because
zone.
a man told him to.
Yes, that is true. And also, when Finn calls Patty into the, there's just it's weird though. To me, it doesn't seem so much like a sexual attraction. It seems like they just get each other and can really just be creative and spin ideas off each other, and they get each other in that sense. Is that what you get too? I don't get like this
absolutely.
super like sexual tension necessarily.
I get it from the professional aspect. Like, they both are just on the same track and the same wavelength. They know how to work well, and they know their creative things are exactly the same. As for the sexual attention, I think once they get the professionalism out of the way, then they can flirt with each other.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm okay with that too, because there's a good balance between that, the professionalism and the personal life.
Yeah, that is. I'm so curious about what's gonna happen there.
Doug seemed a little jealous though.
Remember, I think it was the first episode, we called attention to Doug looking at them when they were talking, and I feel like he knows that there's...
Right, because he was just sitting in his chair, like, fiddling with his pen, literally not doing any work, and just looking at Patty and Finn. I'm like, Doug, you're supposed to be working right now.
Do you think he was jealous of, like, them thinking that could be a thing? Or I think more of an ego thing? Like, why is he calling her in to ask for her opinions instead of mine because she's my researcher?
I think it's both.
A little both?
But did you notice, like, there were so many moments in this episode where the guys were just sitting around waiting for the girls to do work?
Those girls, I'm very curious about the whole salary thing.
Yeah.
Because the girls do so much work. And I'm just... interested to see where that's going to go.
Workers.
They are really hard workers.
Women are harder workers.
So then also, we see a little bathroom scene in the beginning with Patty trying to get the girls to go out and all that, and brings up how Cindy is going to go to Eleanor's. To take resumes?
Resumes to Eleanor.
Yeah.
And Harlem.
Yes, and I like that. She's like, well, I've never been to Harlem, so that's something new. So Cindy goes to Eleanor's, and we start to see her, like, secretly drinking.
Yeah.
And
brandy.
Yes, and she's making food for Eleanor, and right now I feel like she's just trying to do anything, get away from her house, stay out of her house as long as possible. Because she's avoiding what's happening there.
Yeah, and did you notice that, like, the time of the day changed? She went there during the day, and then by the time she left, it was already nighttime.
Yeah.
Eleanor's husband came home. Like, how long was she actually there at Eleanor's?
She was there a while.
A long time.
I guess let's just talk about the whole visit at Eleanor's, because that doesn't really coincide with any of the other storylines.
Right.
I kind of called that right when the husband got home. she was going to get super bummed out because she saw their love. And when she's having such a rough time at home, seeing that is going to make you so, like, envious. Like, I can't, like, this is what it should be.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in my notes. I was like, oh, she's jealous of Eleanor and Edward's relationship. And it's understandable because we've seen how much of a douchebag her husband is. And the fact is, like, it's not that hard to get, I mean, maybe it is, but to get a guy who's, like, that nice and understandable and, like, really loves, the partner. Like, Eleanor and Edward, they seem like a great couple.
I loved seeing that.
They were genuine. Like, they truly loved each other, and Edward seemed like a really down-to-earth guy. Like, if Cindy could have that. She deserves better.
Really like seeing, because so far we kind of just see Eleanor as, this attorney and kind of for the cause. So it's nice to see a little of her personal life as well. Mm-hmm. So I like to see that. But yeah, Cindy was totally bummed, which is, I think she has the right to be.
Yeah.
So then.
I like Edward, though. Sorry, one more point.
Yeah.
I like Edward, and I think maybe he's going to help in all
I think so too.
As well.
Because he seems to be all for the cause, because that's when Eleanor talks to Cindy about, have you told your husband?
Yeah.
And
nope.
Edward's clearly a husband who's very supportive and is all for it and supporting that. So that was pretty cool. And God, this bathroom, so much goes down in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So we got, once again, I go, Jane's got sex on the brain. Yep. But in my head, do you think she was wanting to have sex with Chad just because she thought that was going to get him to, like, propose?
Yeah, maybe.
Or did she just want to have sex? I was a little confused.
I don't know. I think she just wants an intimate relationship right now. She's dating someone, but she's not. I mean, it's not that you should be sleeping with someone considering that you're in a total relationship. I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like maybe she just wants more out of this current relationship. And she's not getting it, and she's not happy.
Yeah, because we see, because it's New Year's and she has this big event with Chad. So we see her kind of going and she's lingerie shopping.
Oh, yes.
And she's trying on different stuff. But she should have gotten MeUndies.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know what MeUndies are, it's an underwear brand. And they focus solely on just making the most comfortable underwear ever. Because underwear are the first thing that you put on in the morning.
And last things you take off too.
Exactly. So it makes sense that you'd want some really comfy underwear.
Yes.
So MeUndies, they're super cozy. They're exclusively on the MeUndies website. And you can enjoy free shipping in the US and in Canada. And for a limited time, everyone watching here can get 20% off their first order. But you have to go to our special URL, MeUndies.com/comfort to get some comfortable underwear. With the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you have nothing to lose. So don't wait any longer. Go to MeUndies right now and /comfort and you get 20% off. Sounds like a great deal.
Love it.
I need to get me some MeUndies.
Jane should go there.
Jane needs MeUndies.
If they had the internet back then.
That's true. That's true.
But we can do time travel and tell her about MeUndies. That's MEUNDIES.
/comfort. Get your MeUndies. You won't regret it. So she ends up finding a little slippy thing and is getting ready in the bathroom. And
she looked great.
She looked beautiful.
That blue dress.
Anna Camp is gorgeous. And she has, I just have to touch on that. She has just such a unique, like, she feels like she belongs in this decade, doesn't she? She does.
She has the look and the physicality of it and the presence of it.
She's great. I love her in this.
Yeah,
so she's off to her New Year's. All the other girls, besides Cindy, Patty got on board to go to, what was the place called? Chelsea? No.
Nah,
somewhere.
It escapes me.
And
some crazy place.
And she's trying to get them to all do drugs. And on her way out, too, she talks to Doug, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like, kind of told him where she was going. And he was trying to, because right now he's in work mode. He's trying to impress Finn because he knows that Finn thinks he has potential. So all this. So let's talk a little bit about this party. So they go there.
Crazy.
I had like a little hint of like, I don't know about Patty.
Yeah.
Like, so she got them all to do drugs or whatever, and that, whatever, but it was so weird when she was just like on the drugs and just like straight up like getting naked. I thought that, so Doug ends up showing up. I thought he was going to walk in on her like hooking up with someone and get really upset. What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't think so because it felt like throughout the whole episode, he was so tightly wound, and I felt by the time he got to the party, I was like, he's just gonna unleash, and he's gonna be crazy too.
I did not think that.
Oh,
So
I totally
dumb.
did.
That was crazy.
Because sometimes that happens to the best of people. Like, people who are, like, so straightforward and kind of, like, not social in the workplace can be the complete opposite in personal life.
He literally straight joins an orgy.
Orgy, yeah.
I was not expecting that. I can't believe you thought he was gonna. I thought that he was gonna go, and I thought he was gonna try to find Patty, and I thought he was gonna see her doing something that would really upset him.
Oh, no, he
let loose.
He relieved some tension there.
He
I'll
did.
just say that.
And also, was it Diane, right? Yes. So Diane. Who Patty convinced to do the drug, not having a good trip like Patty is.
No.
Patty's like so zen and like dancing and getting naked.
Topless.
Meanwhile, Diane is like crawling. I was like, what is going to happen here?
Something's going to happen to her.
And she ends up falling down the stairs hard.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is she dead? I was worried that she might have died.
I was thinking that too, because she went down real hard.
Yeah, that's like an overdose plus like a brain injury. I was thinking the worst.
And that kind of snapped Patty out of it, and it's
good. I mean, Patty has to realize, like, she has built a tolerance, as terrible as this sounds. She has built a tolerance for, like, drugs and alcohol, and she's always a partier. And it seems like Diane wasn't, and she should have been a good friend and looking out for them.
That was where mine was at.
Own.
I was thinking that she was the one who, she pretty much she pressured them pretty hard to do this.
Oh yeah, peer pressure.
She did that a lot, which, I mean, obviously they're grown women. They could have said no. But I was surprised that she wasn't kind of with them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like good friends should just...
Yeah, she just went off on her own.
I'm a little questioning of Patty. I don't know what I think about her.
I think Patty, as a adult, quote unquote, still has a lot of growing up to do. Like, she's stuck between having fun and yet being an adult and being responsible.
Yeah. Of the main three, I think she's at my bottom at the moment. It could go back up. I don't know.
After this party, certainly.
Yeah. I didn't really like her in that episode. But then also, we have Jane over at her very fancy New Year's party. And I did not predict this at all. Like, I thought that, so he breaks up with her, pretty much.
I thought she was going to break up
I
with
thought
him.
she was going to break up with him. I'm pretty sure in predictions, a couple of people that said that she might cheat on him or that she might break up with him, but he broke up with her.
Yeah. I didn't expect that.
I was not. And on New Year's, and the way he did it was kind of so annoying.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was not having, I felt so bad for her.
I did.
I
felt bad for her too, and especially like she got all dolled up and tried to get his attention and affection, and like even in the situation, the event that they were at was so nice, black tie, white gown, and all that. But I just felt so bad for her because she was trying as well, and she got the short end.
I have to say though, it says a lot about him, I think, in the sense that she's pretty much straight up saying, I will lose my virginity to you. He could have done that even knowing that he didn't want to really be with her. So at least he straight up said, I'm not going to have you do that.
Right. And I mean, it seemed from the episodes that we've only seen, the boyfriend, Sam's his name?
Chad. Sam's her reporter.
That's right. Chad. Sorry, all these names.
I know.
But Chad, it seems like Chad liked it, and Jane wanted to like it more. But even the family, I had no instances where I thought Chad didn't want it to be out of the relationship.
At the same time, though, he did. I mean, when she kind of gave him that ultimatum about marriage, I could tell there was something a little off. I could tell that he wasn't really into it.
Okay.
And I don't know. I guess that goes to show too that in this situation, with just kind of the lives they're living with, like the upper class families, that sometimes it's not just the women who are set up to marry someone that they don't love. It's clearly in this case, it was both of them.
Yeah.
They just were supposed to be together because it looks good on paper that these two belong together. Good looking, good families.
The families approve.
Yeah. But
that doesn't say that they truly love each other.
Exactly. I'm glad, though, that they broke up because I'm really hoping for Jane and Sam.
I
love Sam.
I kind of want that too.
In the next episode, we talk a lot about that. So then I think for the main girls, that's about it. But a little side story, we see Gabe and Denise kind of, he's kind of fallen off the wagon and not really impressing Finn at all.
Nope. And Gabe was one of the people who was also sitting around waiting for his assistant to do the work until he could do something.
And I like
was
Denise a lot.
I did not like Gabe in this episode. Especially when it came to the New Year's part and they were counting down and he kisses Denise without her consent.
That was so awkward.
It's like,
she was
no.
not, I'm like, oh.
She was not
She was
having
not
it.
into it.
But
She's not
also,
into it.
you got to remember the position that she's in. She's a woman who's also black, who really doesn't have any voice in the matter. Like, she just allowed it to happen. You can clearly tell in her face she did not like it.
Her face was literally like,
But
bleh.
this might be early predictions, but I think that's going to cause a big rift between those two.
You think?
Like, this is just going to keep growing to the pack. I think she might just start resenting him.
I like how in these episodes, Denise is, we get to know her a little more because she's a very hard worker. I like her. I like her character a lot. And at the top of my notes, I go, oh my goodness, she is flawless. Her face is so beautiful.
Yeah.
She's like the most beautiful skin out.
Symmetrical.
Oh my gosh.
Flawless skin.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. I think, okay, I guess so that it ends with Cindy walking into her house and just completely ignoring her husband. Like, boom, like ditched him for the night and just walked in and closed the door. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Good, Sydney. It's
I'm
New
glad-
Year's. You don't have to show affection to it.
Exactly. So I'm glad that that happened. I think that's all. Did I miss anything in episode 5?
No, I
I think we covered it all. Episode 6. This is.
We did one quick fact that we learned from Eleanor, that there are 18 researchers and 18 editors that they're trying to recruit, I believe, with Eleanor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So far, I mean, they
so far-
have a lot of people.
Yeah, they do. So episode 6 starts off at one of their meetings, and the big thing is she wants to know how much the men's salaries are compared to the women, because at this point, they all kind of know that they're working super hard. And she asks them a question. She goes, something about, what are the salaries compared to? And they're like, well, it's different because we have different jobs. But she goes, yes, but you're not even allowed to have that job.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of they all were like, you're right here.
That's what we're fighting for.
Exactly. So I'm really, really curious to what the difference is, because I think it's going to be way bigger than they thought.
It's going to be pennies to the dollar.
It's going to be crazy. So I'm excited about that. And as they leave the meeting, we kind of get the insight to what the big story is news-wise in this, and that's Patty going to the postal strike headquarters to try to get some information, and she's the first to break this huge story, which kind of gets, that's pretty much the majority of what's happening during this episode.
It gets news of the week in the headlines and all that. They're trying to get that scoop. So good for Patty. I mean, she has the instincts, knowing that there's something brewing here. I'm going to talk to all the powers that be to do it.
Yeah.
So good for her for getting that scoop on everybody else. This is very interesting because also, like, I wish they delved into it a little bit more, because just from the researcher in me, that I wanted to know, why was all this happening? I mean, they kind of touched base on it, but I think this show is more character driven than story driven.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is fine.
And also, didn't touch on this from episode 5, Finn on New Year's, first of all, doesn't do anything with his wife, and his New Year's plans were kind of career-driven to try to get his buddy Gregory to leave Rolling Stones, right? He was at Rolling Stones, I believe.
Yeah, to leave.
To come over. And we learn very early on that he got him to come. And I really like this character. I like the way that they work together, because they're such on the same page compared to Wick and Finn.
Yeah, and I like it. And he's also young,
He's young,
too,
yes.
Which, and I think with having two like minds, just works twice as better.
Yeah, I like them. I'm excited to see them in more scenes together. And then Finn is also starting to notice Doug in this huge story. He's kind of put on the cover. He's going to get the cover if he gets the story.
If he gets the story.
Which is interesting, because we've seen that it's mainly been Sam and Jane getting these stories. So this is huge for Doug and Patty. Which it'll be interesting to see how Sam, because you kind of see Sam giving looks when they're in that room meeting with all the guys, and he's a little jealous for sure. He's used to it.
But I think it's also good for Doug to just grow as a reporter, as a writer. And I think that's just a better opportunity, because like maybe Sam just, got a little too high on his horse,
Yeah.
you know, right there. And like people always putting him on that high pedestal. Like, maybe his ego just got the best of him.
Yeah, and it's good for Doug too, because if he's getting these covers, he knows he's getting them because he has to step out of the box, because that's what Finn's wanting. So it's going to cause him, I think, to grow a lot as a character doing these type of stories. So in the bathroom, Cindy and Diane are busted by Denise. I thought this was very interesting how Denise handled it, because she just straight walked out, just washed her hand, just didn't say anything. She knew that they were doing something that probably shouldn't be happening.
Yep.
And that's another reason I like her. The whole time I think they were worried that she was going to rat on them, and I never got that vibe from her.
Yeah, me neither. And I feel like Denise is a person who knows when to speak when necessary and knows when not to speak, where some people still need to learn that. And that's why I also like Denise, because she understood everything that happens and she knows her place.
Like I said, I really like her a lot. And I think she's going to start being a bigger character in these next couple episodes. So Doug is kind of, I'm just going through an order here. Doug won't let Patty come to the headquarters, but I didn't take this in a way like, no, you just can't come. It was more for the benefit of he can call her, she can write stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything more than that.
Communication via telephone is fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sam is sent to I'm confused to where exactly he was sent, where all the mail was piling up.
Apparently there was a post office, and I believe it was Jersey.
Okay.
Right, and where all this mail was undelivered. They're like, there's this place here, just come here and check it out.
Yeah. So he does have Jane come with him, and I freaking love them. Those two together. And it was interesting too, because it just shows, I think Sam I think is in love with her. He notices all the small, like he noticed she was upset. He pays attention, and he likes her being there with him and them working together, compared to some of these other researchers, reporters, where they're kind of telling their researchers or waiting for them to do work. Where Sam and Jane, I feel like they have such a good working relationship, and they respect each other, and they get along so well. So I really like that. And I thought it was interesting at the beginning how he says a comment like, oh, is your boyfriend gonna get mad? And she doesn't tell him.
Right.
Why do you think she didn't tell him at first?
Well, I think she was just
Embarrassed,
maybe kind
or-
of embarrassed at the fact that she broke up with Chad and didn't really want to tell anyone yet. And then I think it was just her working up to the admitting. So once you say it out loud, then it becomes more real.
Yeah.
And I think she hasn't said that yet.
For sure. And Cindy, while Doug and Sam and Jane are off, she tries to talk to Denise because Patty wanted to, but all the girls in the office are being a little weird to Patty, which I think is understandable.
Totally. After the crazy night that they just had and not taking care of Diane like a good friend should have, and Diane broke her arm. I mean, yeah, Patty was, she was a friend and then she wasn't a friend. You know? It's like you can hang out with her, but you can't trust her.
Exactly. Yeah. So Denise is like, I can't do that. And she doesn't really give to Cindy. She dives more into it with Patty on why she doesn't want to be a part of this. She, like you said, she knows where she stands. Whether it's right or not, she knows that she's this black woman at a pretty much white magazine. Or newspaper, not magazine, right?
Yeah.
Newspaper or magazine. So she knows, and Cindy was kind of like this at the beginning too. She said that work was her escape from her marriage and stuff. So she didn't want to lose it. And Denise is kind of on that page at the beginning. She's like, I don't want to lose this job. Do you know how rare it is for me to get this job?
Yeah, especially in a place like this. Also, Denise had one of the best lines that really made Patty think, like, this Black Panther story that you're covering, did any black people get research or do the interrogations, or like, do we have any other black perspectives on this story? No, it's all white people. So it's not even objective in that way.
Exactly. So I totally understood where Denise is coming from in this sense. So she didn't want to do that. But I guess we can just finish talking about Denise here, because Patty's not giving up. That girl's persistent.
Gotta love her. She's relentless.
She calls in the big guns and has Eleanor come and meet Denise, and I guess that's all it took.
That was the most beautiful speech ever. I literally just want to type it up and like frame it. The whole box speech, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I like Eleanor and Denise are both really great characters. I liked seeing them together, and I'm sure we'll see more of them interacting now that Denise is on board. And I think Denise was a big one for them to get. They needed to have her with them. And now maybe they'll get a couple of her friends.
Because it's not just the white people. It's not just like white women. It's all the women.
All women.
All the women. And I think once Eleanor like broke that into Denise and got through to her, is realized we are all second-class citizens here.
Exactly.
No matter what our color is.
So I'm very glad that Denise is on board. So let's talk about Sam and Jane now. So they're off doing that. And they decide that they're going to maybe just deliver some of the mail, which I thought that was I liked their story in this episode. And I like how they used what was happening with this mail strike to learn more about these two characters.
I liked it also just for storytelling wise. Like, yes, we know the mail strike is happening, but like, who does it really affect?
Exactly.
It's the people who aren't getting the mail. It's the veterans who aren't getting mail. It's the people who depend on paychecks and pensions who aren't getting it. It affects everybody.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. So they showed up the first house, and it was a lady who has a couple kids, and she was waiting for her check. And that it does affect the people not getting the mail, which you don't really think of, because when you hear mail strike, you're like, oh, these mailmen and everything, they're the ones kind of being treated wrong here. Meanwhile, these people waiting for their mail who did nothing. And I really like how they went to the next place, and it was a lady who I guess was waiting for a letter from her husband or something. That's what I got from it. That the letter was coming, and she, because she can't talk to him any other way.
Yeah.
And I thought it was...
Kind of broke my heart.
It did. And I love the way Sam handled that. They're talking, and because Jane's told him, you should go interview her for the veterans piece. And he said no. And I loved how when she asked him about it, he said why. He said, how did he even phrase it? I forget, but... He was so just like respectful. He's like, when people are like that, you just have to know when to push it, because he knows how hard it is for them.
I like he has that awareness, and I think that's what also makes him a great storyteller, a great writer, when he knows what's important and what's not.
Yeah, so because I
appreciated him as a person, being respectful of other people's personal business.
Exactly, because I think with some of these other reporters, maybe Patty, for instance, she would have like pushed. Just because they're different people. She's very persistent and will just do whatever for the story. So I loved seeing how he is as a person. And I think Jane seeing that side of him made her a little weak in the knees, not gonna lie. They're talking, and she finally admits, first she tries to say, I broke up with him. And then she's like, okay, he actually broke up with me. And what did he say? He's like, he's not worthy. He's not worthy. And I died. I have an I heart Sam on my notes because...
Well, he said all the right things at all the right times.
And he's very genuine. I don't think he's saying it trying to get something he wants. Like, I think that he genuinely means everything he says. And I just want them to be together so much.
Yeah, I think that's a slow thing. We were already longing for it. But you know what? The show would be over if they already got together. We just gotta wait.
Yeah, we definitely gotta wait. I don't think it's gonna happen like soon, but I think they're slowly, now that she is single, I think she's gonna be more open to the idea that she could really like him. Yeah. Because I think when she had a boyfriend, it was just like a wall. Like, it's work, but now that maybe she doesn't have Chad, she can be a little open to that. Also, side note, you know what I just remembered that we completely missed?
What?
New Year's Eve, Jane has sex with her neighbor.
Yeah.
How do we forget that?
What?
So after...
I keep forgetting it was in
this first episode. We'll touch on that real quick. So Jane, after getting dumped, comes home, and like we said, she had sex on her mind. She was ready to lose her virginity. Neighbor walks by. She goes, can you help me with something? I was not expecting that.
Can you help me lose my V card?
Yeah. And then you see her, and she seemed to be enjoying herself.
You know what? I should have known, because the last episode we saw that quick glimpse of the neighbor, like, oh, he's definitely into her. Yes. And I don't think she saw it, but yeah, I definitely saw it this time.
I assumed something was going to happen with the neighbor, just because why else introduce him like that?
Right.
So yeah. So Jane is no longer a virgin.
No.
Good for you, Jane.
Yeah,
You do
I
you,
mean,
girl.
she wanted something, she got it.
So also in this episode, Ned and Cindy.
Yeah.
What was that? That was
No, I'm just trying to think because, like, Cindy, she was fun, but she was also drunk a lot in this episode.
She was. But the first time when they hooked up, like when she closes the door,
That was steamy.
that was very steamy.
I was like, whoa, we got the kiss last week, and then we got a little bit more this week.
Yes, and I like how, so they hooked up at the office, and I like when they went to the bar after, Patty asked her, goes, do you know what you're doing? And she goes, nope. And she goes, but you're going to do it anyway. And she's like, yep. I was a little nervous Ned wasn't going to show up.
Yeah,
I
same here.
I thought in my head, I go, wait, maybe he got what he wanted, and that's that. I was glad he did, though.
Yeah, but it shows like how much she really likes Ned too. The fact that she's waiting just for him.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're still married, girl.
Yes, she is.
Still married.
Which, even though her husband is a douche and whatever, it's still just like you can't, I mean.
But she's better off with Ned.
No,
honestly.
totally. She totally is. But does it make it right? I don't know, you know?
It's immoral. It's not illegal.
Yeah. And then
Makes me sound like a terrible
I
person.
was dying when Cindy is drunk, stumbles, breaks in, and she's just so nonchalant about it. Just like anyone could have walked in. It was night and no one was there, but it was so funny seeing her stumble around to find the salaries, and she sobers up quick when she sees the salaries the men make.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious.
Her look was like, oh, just all the color just drained from her.
Oh,
face.
yeah.
So it's got to be an astronomical
I know.
amount of
I'm
difference.
so excited to see what that difference is. And then, so the last people that we have to talk about, I guess, is just finishing up with like Patty and Doug. This episode, they worked really well together, and she ends up meeting him at the place. And I thought it was a really sweet moment when he said, I went there on New Year's. I tried to find you. And she goes, I wish you would have. I kept getting little glimpses of them maybe having some sort of reconciliation. What do you think?
I mean, like, right now we can obviously tell Patty was doing all these drugs and pills to get over Doug. And she even said it. She's like, I'm still trying to get over Doug. But if they got back together, then it makes me wonder, it's like, what was all this for? I don't think she's good with Doug, honestly. They might have some sexual chemistry there, but I can't see anything more coming out of this relationship.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think that they might have like a little hookup or something.
Maybe.
But as Patty is leaving work, Finn stops and gives her a ride. And they, the ride home, there's obviously that little chemistry that they have.
Did you think that Finn was actually going to be there?
At the door?
Yeah.
Okay, in my head, I think it's Doug. Okay, should we just get into predictions?
Yeah,
is there anything
sure.
else?
Yeah, I think that's it. Other
Right?
than, we covered it all. Oh, one quick thing. The Twin Towers were being built. Did you notice that?
I did not.
Yeah, there was all these shots of the New York skyscraper, and you can see the Twin Towers like in the production of being constructed.
That's
I was
awesome.
like,
I did not
that's
notice that.
pretty cool.
That
'cause
is cool.
It was created in 1970. So.
Crazy.
Yeah. just
All right,
a little
well, let's
thing
dive
for it.
into predictions because we had some cliffhangers with this.
We did.
It was hard not to watch
Your
the next episode.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
We did.
Predictions. Okay, what you think? Who do you think's at the door?
Oh, I would love for it to be Finn.
Okay.
Honestly, I would because he's right there. We think he leaves, but he comes back.
See, okay, that's why I think it is Doug because I think everyone since Finn just dropped her off, I think that's what's expected. I think, he dropped her off, she went up, and then he ended up thinking about it. But I, for some reason, think it's Doug.
Okay. I just don't want Doug to be back with her, and then I really want Finn.
I think it's gonna be Doug. Okay, what else do you got?
I think the salary, now knowing that the salary differences, that's going to definitely aid to their fight against everybody. But also, I think someone's going to realize that Cindy broke in. Like, this secret is going to get leaked somehow.
Yeah, I think that she probably wasn't so smart because she was drunk, so there's going to be some sort of thing left unlocked or something is going to happen.
Also, some copy machines, I'm not sure like how advanced technology is back then, but some copy machines and fax machines can like recall what was the last thing that was printed. And now knowing that all these papers of salaries are printed,
Yeah.
someone's going to find that out.
No, yeah, I think for sure someone's gonna find it out. I want Sam and Jane to be a thing. I don't even know if that's like a season 1 thing that'll happen. I think they're gonna have that type
about
of relationship.
End of season 1.
Maybe like a kiss or something.
Yeah, something. Start something.
Start something, yeah. But I think it's just gonna keep showing them getting to know each other, enjoying each other's company, continuing to work well together.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope we see more of Finn and his wife, because I'm just so curious about that still. And in regards to Cindy, do you think she's gonna like leave her husband, or what do you think? Do you think she's just gonna keep doing what she's doing?
I think right now she's going to skate on by, but fighting this battle against the men, I think that's going to empower her to go against her own man.
I agree. And another prediction. I totally think now, I think once people find out that Jane's no longer with her boyfriend and all this, I think they're going to try to get her. Because I think she knows something's kind of going on. So I think that she might be, I don't know, actually, I think she's like the last one they try to get, but I think that she'll be on board.
Oh,
But
for
we'll
sure.
see.
For sure.
But I guess that's all we have this week. Those were 2 such good episodes. I'm so excited. We're
Really
like 2
excited.
weeks left.
There's a good setups for like where all
Yes.
these relationships are gonna go.
Yes, it was so good. Well, thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, iTunes. We're on Twitter, Instagram, every social media. Make sure to follow AfterBuzz TV. I've been your host, Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega. And Marisa, where can they find you?
Everyone can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.